his death, incarnate itself in 1,000 lives. One individual may die for an idea, but that idea will, after his death, incarnate itself in 1,000 lives. Your ideas are like diamonds. Without the refining process, they are just a dirty rock. But by cutting away the impurities, they become priceless. The Fraternity of Indian Schools in Oman, under the guidance and support of the Board of Directors, are in a constant effort to explore opportunities that ignite the spark of creativity, which fosters you for a better future. At the onset, may I take this opportunity to extend our warm wishes to the benevolent ruler, His Majesty Sultan Haitham bin Tariq. May the Almighty bestow His blessings to the nation to continue being the flag bearer of peace and prosperity around the world. As India is celebrating the 75th year of its independence under the theme Azadi Ka Amrut Mahotsav, India at 75, fueled by the spirit of Atmanirbhar Bharat. India and Oman are linked by geography, history, and culture, and enjoy warm and cordial relations. This relationship has matured substantially in recent years. Let's glorify and elevate the pride of these nations as we respectfully listen to the national anthem of Oman, followed by that of India.
Chief guest for the day, Mr. Ahmed Tabouk, Commercial Director, Free Zone Oman. Honorable Chairman of the Board of Directors, Dr. Shivakumar Manikyam. Guest of honor, Mrs. Ashwini Saurikar. Esteemed Directors of the Board, Indian Schools in Oman, Principals, Vice Principals, Teachers, and my dear friends. Good evening to one and all. We are privileged to welcome you all to the 4th edition of Stride, a session on the basics of entrepreneurship, hosted by Indian Schools Sood under the aegis of Board of Directors, Indian Schools in Oman. This session aims to inspire and guide our students towards the path of entrepreneurship.
The lighting of lamp dispels the darkness of ignorance and illuminates our vision and desires. By lighting the virtual lamp, let us stride forward. I would like to welcome Master Tanveer Rahman, Head Boy, Indian School Sur, for the welcome speech.
Good evening and warm greetings to all. On this occasion of India at 75, we are pleased to host the 4th edition of Stride with an aim to ignite the spark of creativity, innovation, and entrepreneurship innate in every individual and transform them into competent, enterprising, confident visionaries. I am highly honored to welcome our chief guest, Mr. Ahmed Tabook, Commercial Director, Free Zone, Oman. Welcome, sir. It is a great pleasure to have you with us today. The Honorable Chairman of Board of Directors, Indian Schools in Oman, Dr. Shivakumar Manikyam. A hearty welcome to you, sir. I am profusely overjoyed to welcome our guest of honor, Mrs. Ashwini Saurikar, Finance Director of the Board of Directors and the Director in charge of Indian Schools Sur. I would like to extend my hearty welcome to the revered directors of the board, Indian Schools in Oman. I would like to extend my hearty welcome to the Vice Chairman, Mr. Syed Salman, and the other directors of the board, Indian Schools in Oman. I cordially welcome the President, Mr. Muhammad Amin, and the other esteemed members of the School Management Committee, Indian Schools Sur. I am profoundly elated to welcome the Presidents, School Management Committee members, principals, and vice principals of Indian Schools in Oman. I feel greatly honored to welcome our beloved principal, Dr. S. Srinivasan, who is tirelessly working for the progress of our school. Dr. Mariam Norona, a versatile person with multitude of skills in different fields, has kindly consented to be the moderator for this session. We are glad to have your presence. Welcome, ma'am. We are pleased and honored to have with us a panel of young entrepreneurs who have turned their passion into business. Mr. Shrey Tyagi, entrepreneur, e-learning space, Skill Arena. Mr. Zaid Naim, CEO and founder, Jasper Home Fashions. Ms. Anchal Agarwal, entrepreneur and founder, Explore Bio. Mr. Saksham Mishra, Student Council, Core Member Spark, Entrepreneurship Cell. Mr. Pratyum Mane, founder and Chief Inspiration Officer, Physics Mind Boggler. Mr. Hardik Agarwal, co-founder and director, Skill Arena Technologies. Ms. Tia Sharma, entrepreneur and the founder of Real. A hearty welcome to all of you. In addition, I would like to wholeheartedly welcome all the respected teachers, parents, and dear students of Indian Schools in Oman. Thank you.
Thank you, Tanveer. Quoting the words of our Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, Sabka Vishwas, or Sabka Prayas is very important for the achievement of all our goals. There comes a time in the development journey of every country when that country redefines itself, moves forward with new resolutions. Today, that time has come in India's development journey. Starting from here, the entire journey of the next 25 years when we celebrate the centenary of Indian independence marks the Amrit period of creation of a new India. The fulfillment of our resolutions in this Amrit period will take us to the 100th anniversary of Indian independence with pride. India's journey in the past 75 years has metamorphosized it into a force to reckon with. Let's sail through a journey of India's steadfast growth from a developing nation to one of the fastest growing economies in the world. Independence Day of India is celebrated annually on 15th August to mark the freedom of the Indian natives from the British rule. The brave freedom fighters of India like Mahatma Gandhi, Bhagat Singh, Bal Gangadhar Tilak, and many more sacrificed their lives for the nation. India gained its independence on 15th August 1947. There were huge riots, wars, fights, and many more where a number of people lost their lives. the hard work of the leaders and the citizens of India finally gave them a great success. This day is celebrated with great joy and happiness. On this day, the Prime Minister of India delivers the address to the nation and hoists the Indian flag at Red Fort. This is followed by a march past of all the Indian armed forces. This year, India is celebrating 75th Independence Day. In these 75 years, India has developed in many fields, especially in the fields of business and entrepreneurship. Business in these years have improved a lot. Today, India is in the 63rd position among 190 nations. Entrepreneurs of India have also brought a great rise in the economy of India. There are many successful entrepreneurs like J.R.D. Tata. Yes, the renowned entrepreneur and chairman of Tata Group. He was the person who found several industries in the Tata Group. He is one of the most successful person in the history of India. Another renowned Indian businessman, Adarsh Godrej, the founder of the Godrej Group, is now one of the leading companies in India. He is also known as Lokman of India. Dhirubhai Ambani, yes, the founder of Reliance Industry. He was a successful Gujarati Indian business tycoon. He is the father of the richest man of India, Mukesh Ambani. He has also took India to great heights. Amul, the taste of India, a very famous dairy company in India, was founded by Dr. Varghese Kurian, also known as the milkman of India. Byju's, another startup by Baiju Ravindran and his better half, Divya Gokulnath, is an educational technology company which helps students to learn in a better way. They are India's youngest billionaires. Craving for delicious food? Here is Swiggy, an online food delivery service from restaurants to your doorsteps, was started by Shri Shashram Majeti, Rahul Jaimini and Nandan Reddy. Flipkart, the famous online retail company, was started by Sachin Bansal and Vinny Bansal. Nykaa is an e-commerce company founded by Falguni Nair, sells beauty, wellness and fashion products in India. Ola is a ride-sharing company founded by Bhavish Agarwal and Ankit Bhati, which serves online taxi bookings to travelers. Ever heard the songs in TV ads?
Download now.
Pharmacy is yet another online pharmacy and medical store started by Dhaval Shah and Dharmal Seth. Paytm, founded by Vijay Shekhar Sharma, is India's largest mobile payments platform. These were some of the best and successful entrepreneurs of India. There are more entrepreneurs to come up in the upcoming years to develop our nation. Wishing all the young entrepreneurs a good luck. Thank you.
Dr. Shivakumar Manikam is an academician par excellence, presently heading the e-learning department at Oman Dental College. He is a published researcher and writer. He is renowned for his articles on science and technology for the common reader. Prior to his present position as the chairman of the board of directors, he was the academic chair in the SMC of Indian School Muscat and a member of the Academic Advisory Council of the board. I request the Honorable Chairman to address the gathering and enlighten the audience with his precious words.
Thank you. Esteemed Chief Guest of the function, Mr. Ahmad Tabuk, Commercial Director, Free Zone, Salalah. Guest of Honor, Mr. Syed Salman, Vice Chairman, Board of Directors, and DAC of Indian School Sur. Mrs. Ashwini Saurika, Finance Director and DAC of Indian School Sur. My colleagues on the board, Mr. Muhammad Amin, President, Indian School Sur School Management Committee, and other esteemed members of the School Management Committee. Dr. Srinivasan, Principal, Indian School Sur. Dr. Vinod Shastri, the Head of Academics of the Center for Innovation and Entrepreneurship. Moderator of this evening program, Dr. Mariam Noronia, Assistant Professor, Nes Wadia College of Commerce, Pune, India. The most enterprising entrepreneurs on the panel, principals, teachers, and my dear students. A very good evening to all. Schools have rapidly adapted modernization by integrating science, technology, and arts. The recent migration of teaching from classroom to living room revolutionized what schools and teachers can do for its people. Considering the fact that education is the driving force behind every country's economy, how far our curriculum is preparing our students for innovative thinking and creativity is something that requires our attention. Entrepreneurship is not just starting companies, but this is something that will enable our students being creative, innovative, and ambitious. The eye-opening COVID-19 pandemic has taught us several lessons. Startups worth of more than $1 billion are often called as a unicorn. The top 3 unicorns, ByteDance, Stripe, SpaceX, seeing a boom despite of the current pandemic challenge. India, being third largest startup ecosystem, is home to 21 unicorns with the value of $73.2 billion. We are one of the top 50 innovative economies of the world, and hence we are bound to teach our kids and bring awareness about entrepreneurship. Strive is indeed a step in progress towards the aim of igniting the spark of creativity, innovation, and entrepreneurship. I am sure that these activities will indeed transform our children into competent, enterprising, and confident visionaries. This evening, we have a team of young and energetic entrepreneurs who have gone beyond their comfort zone and enjoyed taking challenges, which has given rise to incredible positive results to themselves and to the society. I am sure our students will get sparks of inspiration from their life and forge ahead in life with confidence and commitment. This is yet another program organized to commemorate the 75th anniversary of nation's independence under the theme Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, to realize the vision of self-sufficient and self-reliant. I would like to thank the entire team at Indian School SU for preparing this program amidst of busy academic schedule. Thank you and all the best.
Thank you, sir. We are honored to have the presence of our esteemed chief guest, Mr. Ahmed Tabouk, Commercial Director, Free Zone Oman. He holds a bachelor's degree in Computer Systems Engineering with a minor in Business Administration from the US. He has more than 19 years of experience in multiple sectors. After 9 years of experience in technical management, he started his journey in the commercial and marketing domain as the head of the product development department at Ooredoo Oman. In 2015, he joined Oman Investment and Finance Company as General Manager for Business Development and Marketing. In 2021, he joined the Salalah Free Zone Company as a Commercial Director. I'm privileged to invite our chief guest to address the gathering.
Thank you very much. Thank you. It's actually my pleasure to be here, and I would like to congratulate you on 2 things. One is the Independence Day of India, and the second is actually this program, Stride. Maybe I would just want to reflect on some things here. I think today's students are very fortunate to have an education system that prepares them not just to be employees, but to be entrepreneurs. And I would just also maybe reflect on the the statement from the previous speaker that entrepreneurship is not just about starting up companies. And I think this one of the misconceptions is that some people sometimes confuse setting up a business, which could be an SME, with setting up an establishment that could have an impact on lives or in many lives. I think to me personally, I'm not an expert in this domain, but I see it as more really about scalability. If you can scale a business, then you're really on the right track. Otherwise, you're just probably making a business for a living, and I think that needs to be maybe a point in the minds of the students. One of the points that was mentioned in this discussion, one of these speakers, is the relation between India and Oman. And I think we can capitalize on that even in such programs. If we look at how can we, kind of coordinate and translate such relations and make it part of these programs like Stride. Maybe I will just mention one point that comes to my mind. Oman has a free trade agreement with the US, and India is one of the big exporters to the US, and many of products that are coming from India would be taxed, or it would have a customs duty in the US markets. And I think that the US-Oman free trade agreement has not been taken to the next level. And I think maybe one of the points that could be discussed in Stride and put as a point for research or maybe for exploration in your future sessions is trying to see, okay, how we can link Oman, India, and the US in that free trade agreement. So maybe ideas of making some products in the form of a semi-finished that would come from India, and then finishing that products here, whether it's in the free zones like Salalah free zone or any other of the free zones, and then sending it as an Omani product to the US markets. I think that's one of the areas that we can, consider. Maybe just one point also in the free zones and how can the free zones help in these programs. Free zones are set in Oman and in many regions as a ways to accelerate setting up business away from the bureaucracy of the mainlands. You know that many of the countries in this region suffer a lot of unsmooth process when it comes to setting up a business, whether it's in relation to the 100% foreign ownership or regulations here and there. And free zones are meant to be some sort of fast track to do business, and also that investors or entrepreneurs can have many incentives that are not available in the mainland. So maybe this is also something that you can consider in your program, and we will be more than glad to help you and to support in that. And also, as I said, I'm not an expert, but I have some exposure to this entrepreneurship, and I always see it. It doesn't mean it's not necessarily that you need to come up with a new product to make a successful business. Sometimes you need to enhance a product and bring it to the next level. And I always see it in two things. It's either a product-centric entrepreneurship or a business model. I mean, what I have seen from following some of these businesses, sometimes the product is existing, but someone would come with an innovative business model that is not used in the past, and that is basically the secret of that. So I mean, these are just some reflections. I think I'm here really more to learn from you than to advise, but I thought just let me share some of my reflections on that. And again, it's really a pleasure to be here, and I wish you all the best and success. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Mrs. Ashwani Saurikar is an audit and risk professional working for Arabia Falcon Insurance Company in Oman for more than 9 years as head of internal audit and risk. She has 20 plus years of experience in the finance industry in audit and risk areas. She was recently included amongst India's top 100 women in finance by AIWMI in the leading category. Mrs. Ashwini Saurikar is serving as the finance director on the board, as well as the director in charge of Indian School Surat. It's my pleasure to welcome you, ma'am, to address the gathering.
Thank you so much. Honorable Chief Guest, Mr. Ahmed Tabook, respected Board Chairman of the Indian Schools, Dr. Shivakumar Manikam, Vice Chairman of the Indian Schools Board and DIC of the Indian Schools Sur, Mr. Saeed Salman, and all my colleagues on the board of the Indian Schools in Oman, President Indian Schools Sur Management Committee, Mr. Mohammad Amin, Member SMC Indian Schools Sur, Mr. Srinivasa Rao, Principal Indian Schools Sur, Dr. Srinivasan, the Head of Academics of the Center of Innovation and Entrepreneurship, Dr. Vinod Shastri, Assistant Professor, Neswadia College of Commerce, Pune, and today's moderator, Dr. Mariam Narana, distinguished panelists who are making today's event a special one, all other SMC members, teachers, and other staff of the Indian Schools Sur, principals, teachers, and aspiring entrepreneurs of the Indian schools across Oman, esteemed invitees, ladies and gentlemen. Hello and good evening to all of you. It gives me great pleasure to be part of this wonderful event, very aptly named Stride, symbolizing stepping forward. Friends, any big task that is achieved by anyone in this world would not have been possible without they stepping forward and starting somewhere with baby steps. And entrepreneurship is all about starting something on your own, something of your own. It's about not letting initial failures stop you and about having the tenacity to continue despite all odds. It's about not calling it quits till it works out, using every failure as a stepping stone. It's about having a vision and about converting that vision into something tangible. It's about believing one's own self and following one's dream till it becomes a reality. And today's special is these young entrepreneurs who will share with us their experiences. Achieving such entrepreneurial success at such an age is nothing less than a miracle. And I was awestruck when I heard their AVs and their profiles. I'm sure it is going to be an enriching experience to one and all today to hear from our panelists about their experiences, about their journeys. We all will have some takeaways and food for thought after today's session. And like you all, I'm pretty excited about it. I'm sure students will take motivation from today's discussion and plan their own, make their own plans to plunge into this world as an entrepreneur. I would like to congratulate the organizers of today's event for making this possible and hand over back the stage to take this forward with the proceedings without much further ado. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Dr. Vinod Shastri, Head of Academics of Center for Innovation and Entrepreneurship at Bennett University. He brings with him 3 decades of entrepreneurship development experience across multiple organizations. Having launched pioneering academic programs in innovation, intrapreneurship, and entrepreneurship at Symbiosis International University, he belongs to the rare breed of educators who practice what they preach. I'm highly privileged to invite Dr. Vinod Shastri to address the gathering, who is here with us in the mission of supporting and guiding young minds.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much for that warm introduction. And at the outset, I thank the organizers and the chief guest, Mr. Ahmed Tabook, Dr. Srinivasan, and Ms. Ashwini, and everybody, all the dignitaries and all the founders, student founders, and also the students who have joined the event. So Dr. Mariam, who is going to moderate the panel, had suggested that I should probably share the secret of success of Bennett University in churning out student startups year after year. And so, within the limited time that I will be speaking to you, I thought I'll do exactly that and share with you the secret sauce, if I may call it, of Bennett University. So that is precisely what I'm going to do in maybe a minute, not more. So here is the secret sauce of Bennett University. And it's going to be in two parts. One part is for all the teachers and all the school administrators. So here it comes. So what we do at Bennett University is we build entrepreneurial mindset. That's the primary job that we do. And we let the startups happen. So startups will happen on their own. If we push for startups, then there may be a mental barrier that we create in the minds of students. So we just build an entrepreneurial mindset. So that is what we do at Bennett University. So as I said, this part is for the school, the teachers, the administrators, and the second part is for the students. So here is the other secret sauce, or part of the secret sauce. Let's start up during college. This is a suggestion that we give to the students. We don't push, we do push for the entrepreneurial mindset, but we don't push for startups, but we suggest this. This is a quote by Kunal Shah, the celebrated founder of CRED. So what he says, I strongly believe that all students should have a startup during college. Doesn't matter if successful or how big or small. Worst case scenario, it will make them 10x better employee than someone with no exposure to how a business works. So this is a very, very simple secret sauce at Bennett University, why we are able to churn out startups year after year. And of course, there is another ingredient in all this thing happening is my teammate, Mr. Manish Mathur, who is the chief mentor at Bennett Hatchery, which is our on-campus business incubator. So Manish Mathur, I hope is in the audience. And so I thank him for making this happen. And of course, I also need to thank Dr. Nitin Kalorth, who is my colleague at Bennett University, who is the one who put me in touch with Dr. Srinivasan. So I thank him and I wish the event all the best and a lot of learning for all involved. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you, sir. That was really inspiring. Let me invite Mr. Srinivas Rao, Convener, School Management Committee, Indian School Sur, to address the gathering.
Greetings to one and all present here. Chief guest of the day, Mr. Ahmed Tabuk, Commercial Director, Salalah Free Zone, Sultanate of Oman, Honorable Chairman, Board of Directors, Indian School Sur, Dr. Shivakumar, Vice Chairman, Mr. Syed Salman, Guest of Honor, Mrs. Ashwini Savarkar, esteemed directors on the board, principals, vice principals, and my dear friends. We at Indian School Sur are extremely proud in hosting the 4th edition of STRIDE under the aegis of Board of Directors, Indian Schools in Oman. The Entrepreneurship Club in Indian Schools of Oman under the brand name STRIDE have been established to develop the entrepreneurial skills in our children early in their upbringing. It is one such many programs that will guide them to the competent, enterprising, and confident visionaries. On behalf of Indian School Sur, I would like to express my heartfelt gratitude to the Board of Directors in facilitating such a great platform for our young students, and also giving Indian School Sur an opportunity to host it. I would like to thank Dr. Vinod Shastri, Dr. Mariam, all the eminent guests and the speakers who have taken a lot of efforts and their time to share their knowledge and vast experience in entrepreneurship with the student community. I am looking forward towards the panel discussion that would be highly beneficial to all the students. We hope that Indian School Sur community will be fortunate enough to host many such programs in the near future. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Ideas are a dime a dozen. They are worthless. The people who put their ideas into actions are priceless. Now, moving ahead, we are glad to showcase a brief profile of our eminent panelist.
Mr. Shrey Tyagi, a young entrepreneur trying to revolutionize the e-learning space by helping the youth of our country develop the skill sets for tomorrow. His career objectives are to scale new heights by taking up challenges as a way of life. With his never give up attitude, he has managed to run Skill Arena and pursue his BTech in computer science from Bennett University. His vision is to touch 1 billion youngsters with the idea of Skill Arena. Mr. Zaid Naim is the CEO and founder of Jasper Home Fashions, which is a home decor brand where they believe in turning home into your dream home. He loves designing radical products. His first product success was C-Safe Key, and for his innovation he had been recognized and featured in Times of India and Agni. Miss Aanchal Agarwal is an alumni of Bachelor of Technology in Biotechnology from Bennett University. She has turned her passion about exploring places into reality with startup like Explore Bio. She has always been an ambivert, with a curiosity to explore new things in life. Following graduation, she took that step further with all the learning from the college to utilize and enhance it by gaining an exposure over world stage. Mr. Pradyum Mane is the founder and chief inspiration officer of Physics Mind Boggler. He is a cycling enthusiast and a secret foodie. He has authored 2 books well before turning 20. He has also written research papers that have been published in many international proceedings and journals. With his upcoming books and research works, he is on his way to achieve his dreams. Mr. Saksham Mishra is an engineer in the making and a person with a dedicated interest in entrepreneurship. He is passionate about tech and the power of content in today's world. He believes that the ultimate happiness is in sharing it with others, and he intends to make things around a little better than they were before by connecting and spreading smiles together. Mr. Hardik Agarwal, a curious entrepreneur, is currently the co-founder and director at Skill Arena. His urge to step out of his comfort zone at the age of 20 made him decide to start his own venture. Additionally, Hardik is also an American Marketing Association certified digital marketer with an acumen to create unforgettable marketing campaigns. Currently, he is the vice president of the student council at Bennett University. He has interacted with companies like Microsoft, Nestle, Kodak, Kia Motors, Burger King, etc. He also had the chance to be in the panel with esteemed people from UNGC and UNDP discussing about sustainability. Ms. Riya Sharma has completed her BBA from Bennett University. She is an entrepreneur and the founder of Real, which is her own beauty brand. Real is a body care brand with a vision to cater into cosmetics segment and be an internationally sold brand soon. Her style is very minimalistic, yet very classy and elegant. Apart from entrepreneurship, she has a keen interest in trading, for which she is taking some professional stock trading courses. She likes exploring new places, meet new people, and to learn different things from different people. Dr. Mariam Norona is a teacher, author, blogger, artist, designer, and podcaster. She is currently working as assistant professor at Neswadia College of Commerce, Pune, where she teaches marketing, entrepreneurship, and research methodology at the undergraduate and postgraduate level. Dr. Norona is the coordinator of the Startup and Innovation Cell of our college. She has taught a wide range of management-related subjects and has authored and presented papers at national and international seminars and conferences. An avid reader, researcher, and writer, she has authored numerous articles in the copywriting, fiction, web writing, and travel writing genre.
From this point onwards, Dr. Mariam Norona will moderate the session. With her skills to moderate a flexible and adaptive flow of discussion, the panelists will kindle your thoughts and awaken your entrepreneurship skills. Get ready to be glued to your seats. I request all the participants to kindly mute yourself and keep your videos off, except the moderator and the panel members for the smooth conduction of the session. The floor is all yours, ma'am.
Thank you. A very good evening and a warm welcome to all of you for today's panel discussion, Stride, Let's Talk Entrepreneurship. It gives me immense pleasure to have the opportunity of being a part of this endeavor to inspire young minds. And we certainly hope all of us who are a part of this event, the panelists, Dr. Shastri, Dr. Srinivasan, all the teachers, the board of directors of Indian Schools, Oman, all of us hope that this event helps all of you to understand something, that entrepreneurship or starting up need not be something that you wait, put on the back burner till you're 30, 40. It is doable. We are not here to sell the idea of entrepreneurship to you or starting up. Definitely not to say that everything is all hunky-dory and it'll all be good. So we'll be getting to know our panelists, the highs and the lows of their journey, and we certainly hope that this will inspire you. So without much ado, let's get into the panel discussion right away. So work-life balance is something which all of us keep hearing of. And I'm sure students, as a teacher, I know students have a lot of pressure. They have studies, they have exams, they have projects, they have assignments and whatnot. And then here you have students who have launched startups. Okay, they may be right now, many of them are still pursuing the undergraduate degree program. Some of them are fresh graduates. So my question would be that how did you strike the work-life balance and begin as a student? Whoever wants to take it away. Anyone? Saksham?
Yeah, sure. Saksham, go ahead.
Yeah, so I'll answer that. Thank you for the question, ma'am. I think that is one tough part that a lot of students face, as in, especially when you enter college, the amount of work suddenly increases. So if you thought 11th and 12th hard, come to college. Now, how to balance that is actually how you balance generally anything. Okay, so if you have an interest towards entrepreneurship, you will take out time for that. So what I did personally was that I used to schedule my classes. I used to see, okay, these classes are very important. These classes I can miss, and the rest of my time was spent at the hatchery in my college, which is the incubator. So after classes, weekends, and if you're passionate enough, you will do that. And I think that's the way to move forward.
Yes, Hardik, you were saying something.
Yeah, sure. So, just like Saksham had mentioned, I think I was about to say the same thing, that college changes your life drastically when you enter into a new atmosphere. But for all of you, you are here, apart from giving you all the shiny and glitters, you will have to take that leap of faith in your startup venture idea, and you will have to bear your opportunity cost. You will have to let go of something if you want to pursue your passion. For example, a lot of people think in college life, your friend circle, your social life has to be on point. For me, it has been the opposite. I had to sacrifice that part out of my life to focus on the startup journey. So I'll tell you this honestly, if you try to put your feet in all the boats that you have, you will definitely drown. So in case you're planning to start your own ventures, do not dive into everything in one go. Keep doing things parallelly. That's okay. And I'm not asking you to put everything at stake and just start up your startup journey with your own venture idea. What I mean to say is that if you're sure about your idea and you have good communication skills, then I think the way ahead for you is very simple, because I'm sure all of you also have great mentors in your school, in your surroundings, your neighbors. Just be open to communicate, and the work-life balance that you guys want to create will automatically follow.
Yes, right. I think someone has rightly said that focus is about saying no to all the things which are time and energy vampires. So what you highlighted is just that, right? That you identify what is important to you and you focus on that, and then you say no to everything else, and that will help you, cruise through. Okay. The other thing which I wanted to talk to all of you about is that when you're a student, your family is funding your studies, your parents are funding it, and they might have some dreams and aspirations for you, and those might not necessarily be something as risky as starting up or doing a business, diving into entrepreneurship. So did y'all get the support of your family, or did you all have to convince them that please let me try this? We'd just love to hear that, because I'm sure many of the students would also be experiencing something like this or thinking about it. What will my parents say?
Okay, so if I may, go ahead, Ria, please.
Go ahead. Okay, so I'll go ahead. So basically, I'll have to say, like, my parents were very supportive. Like, I got the idea about Real when we were in the initial phase of the lockdown, like 2020, like initial phase. And I was like, Mom and Dad, I want to start this business. Should I give it a try? Like, without any doubt, they were like, yes, you should go for it. We trust you. And like, that trust, and, my mentors have immense amount of trust on me. My parents have immense amount of trust on me, and that gives me the confidence ki, like, I have to be confident. Like, I'm like, yeah, everyone is trusting me, then it's like I should go for it and I should do it. Like, I will succeed. And even if I'm not succeeding, they are like, you should try, you should go for it. At least you will not have that what do you say, guilt or something like that. At least yeah, try kar lena chahiye tha. You won't have that thing.
Yes. Anyone else? Zaid, would you like to come in here?
Yeah, sure. So adding to Ria's point, it's true that, throughout my journey, also my parents have been super supportive with, launching CSafeKey. So the idea of CSafeKey also come in between the lockdown, wherein India was in completely, parallel in lockdown, and there was no economical activity going on. And we were just sitting idle on a dinner table, thinking that how we can capitalize or do something different in this. So at that moment of time, we all had our own brainstorming sessions, and I happened to come up with a product which was inspired from a US market. And throughout the complete lockdown, so it was like the journey for 3 months, 1.5 months, me and my parents and all my family invested our time into that idea, and that ultimately became one of the best selling products on the Amazon, and we were very happy with that journey. So it's really good.
Okay, it's good to know that two of you had your parents support. The others, anybody who didn't have and who had to convince? None of you all?
If I may, ma'am.
Yes, sure, Pradyum, yes.
So my parents, first of all, very supportive. Let me clear that. But the way I look at this scenario is I look as parents are the first investors who invest in their child's future. So pitching to them and convincing them is something child's responsibility. And that's something I have been doing from beginning. So as far as Physics Mind Boggler is concerned, even a small decision, whether it involves money or not, I do discuss with my parents, particularly my father, who handles all the finances. So he asked too many questions. So I have to make him understand what those terminologies are, what the approach is, and I have to also make sure to validate my own statements through some sources in order to convince him. And though he's always supportive, but he likes the way I explain him, and that's the way his confidence increase even more.
Right. Okay. I think having a family business background, though it's not necessary for you to, start up or dive into entrepreneurship, it can be an advantage because it gives you exposure to doing business early in life. So just wanted to know how many of you are first, second, third generation entrepreneurs?
Okay, so my entire family has been in business, and my family background is also in business. So I am definitely one of them. Second generation entrepreneur, I would say.
Okay, right. The others, Zaid, I think you come from a business family. And the others, Aanchal, Ria, no?
Yeah, I'm a
Saksham?
third generation entrepreneur. So, my grandfather started the business cycle, then followed by my father, and I'm the third one here to,
Okay.
be in the family business.
Yeah. Pradyum, Aanchal, Ria?
Actually, I'm first.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Pradyum, you go ahead.
Thanks. So I'm the first generation entrepreneur. There is no entrepreneur in my family.
All right. Okay, Aanchal? Okay, Ria, you can answer me well. I think Aanchal is unable to unmute somebody from the technical team. If you all could just look into that. Meanwhile, Ria?
Actually, I'm the first generation. I'm the first one in my whole entire family, like till now. I'm the first one who's starting up her own business. So even, my siblings are also like, Didi, whenever, you succeed, please, hame employee rakh lena, please, look up to, please make us your employees. We will be the manager. We will be this, we will be that. So yeah,
nice.
That's fun.
Nice. Yeah, Saksham?
Yeah, so my story here is quite contradicting. I'll agree with Ria in this case. So my parents are doctors, and nobody even in my extended family is an entrepreneur. And there is a saying that there should be business in your blood. So I don't have it. Still, I'm doing it because I love it. So yes, a first generation entrepreneur here.
All right, great. Okay, my next question is to Saksham and Hardik. I had a look at your LinkedIn profiles, and I can see that you both have been very active in student council, placement cell, sponsorship and outreach team. You've done a lot, basically. You've been very, active as students in Bennett University. Now, I think that exposure would have further helped you in your journey, because you would have learned things like leadership, team building, networking with others. And I just want you to share a little bit about one or two experiences in that regard, so that our students who are listening, they are encouraged and motivated to come forward and participate in such activities when they join college. So if you all could, Hardik, you can go first.
Sure. I'll take the lead in this one. So to all the students who are hearing this, let me repeat that confidence and communication are the two skills that will take you forward in entrepreneurship or any part of your life that you will move forward. This confidence you will only gain if and only if you I should say that, you step up on the stage and you talk to multiple people around you and diversify. And that will only come once you start participating in college activities, clubs, events, committees, etc. So I have seen a lot of students hesitating in joining these clubs and committees, and apparently you can see the difference very well. If somebody sitting here who has done, a lot in the sponsorship team, let's say, somebody who has not participated, the difference is clearly visible. Now, let me give you an example, because we have been asked. So I was leading the sponsorship team in our college, and we were roughly a team of about 42 people. And all 42 people were fresh blood. Okay, none of us was experienced, not even me. I was also a newbie in the same domain. And even Saksham was a part of that team. So when we were going through the process, we were never taught anything about it. Okay, we did not have any handover. We were just given a target. Okay, this is the fest total budget, the events budget. This much proportion has to come out of sponsorship. We had absolutely no idea how to talk to people in the corporate segment, asking them for money, because you're literally asking them for money in exchange of just publicity and visibility on Bennett University's profiles and handles. So in that case, when, I still remember we were talking to Microsoft, and they were like, why should we partner with your universities? We are a 10x much bigger brand. Of course, the discussions happened, but to have that courage to keep that conversation going, that's something that college, university, and the clubs have taught me. So today, when I'm speaking to people in HCL, Wipro, for my startup collaborations, I am not hesitant. I know the corporate culture. I know a chain which is established. That's how it has helped me. And I really encourage all of you to please step up in your college activities. Do not consider it to be a boredom. Do not consider it to be a burden, because these are the best years of your life that you can learn. And that's my takeaway. Now, I'm sure Saksham has something lovely to say.
Right. So as you all know that Hardik and I actually were in the same team in the sponsorship and outreach committee. But apart from that, I just get into the question that Mariam ma'am asked, which was about participation in colleges, right? So I'm very happy to see that even schools are organizing such events. But during my time in my school, these things did not happen. And the first time I was actually witnessing such events or such clubs or such participation events was at college. So college has this beautiful concept called clubs and societies. All right. So even if you don't have an idea, even if you don't know what entrepreneurship is, even if you don't know what to do in life, these clubs and these events are going to help you out. Just go there, be on stage, participate. I had a friend. He had listened to a lot of music, but he was very afraid to sing. He just went on stage one day in first semester. People cheered for him and he got the confidence to go again. So he might not be the best at music, but he did get the confidence to go up on the stage. Now he's learning more. And that's how you diversify. That's how you actually come across things that you actually enjoy. So for the first 3 months, you could join a music club. If you don't find yourself there, join another club, do something else, join multiple events. I think that's the way you really figure out what you really want to do. And college is the place.
Just to take one point from Saksham, Mariam ma'am. So there are two types of audience here, and I'm sure some people who are very much sure they want to go in entrepreneurship and some who are not sure and they're still here for the session. So one thing Saksham has mentioned is that, these clubs, college society events help you in finding your interest. So I'm sure all of you are not sure where do you want to go. You want to do BTech, you want to do a BBA or some wherever part of your life you want to go into. these clubs and colleges will actually help you in finding your interest. And trust me on this, I joined marketing clubs, I joined sponsorship. I realized that I am the kind of person who's very approachable and who can be, you know, a spokesperson for a marketing role. That's how I found my interest for marketing. So apart from entrepreneurship, these societies will also help you foster and identify your interest. So that's something I just wanted to add.
Yeah, thank you both. I thought since I'm a teacher, I see that hesitance, you know, on the part of the students. They feel, no, there are many reasons why they cannot do a certain thing. So just wanted to highlight that. Thank you for highlighting. Achal, I want to know if you're able to unmute because we are not able.
Yes, now I'm
right. Okay. All right. So I think, you know, everything begins with an idea. Right? So your startup journey would have begun with an idea. So I want each one of you to very briefly, like if you can limit it to a minute, and a little over a minute is fine, but try to finish in a minute, that what, you know, tell us very briefly about the idea behind your startup, the driving force, and the unique selling proposition. What makes your startup unique? I'm sure, I mean, there might be similar businesses out there. So what makes your business unique? Yeah, Achal, you can begin because you've not yet participated.
Yeah,
so
hi, thank you for the question, ma'am. I am the co-founder of ExploreView. So initially it was just a Instagram page, which we planned off, like related to travel pictures and everything. But then we planned of taking it to a website level. And what makes us special is when we go out on traveling, we do check the tourist places, but we do not check about the hidden gems of the particular location. So we do research on those places. We list them on our website. We help people booking hostels more than hotels and villas, because in hostels we meet different kind of people, like from different backgrounds, may it be entrepreneurial or other countries or any kind of people. So when we meet people from other backgrounds, we get to know them more and more. They'll know about us, we'll know about them. So that was our purpose. And visiting different places from a small location, like if you go to Manali, you'll know the places like Solang Valley and everything, but you don't know like what is located over that particular place, which is a hidden gem of that place. So that was concept which we wanted to bring. We actually thing was we are still in the struggling phases right now. Being a startup co-founder, it's a part of startup. We have to struggle anyways. So getting into the struggling phases, we are still trying to come over all the things which we want that this particular startup should have. And we're planning to take it to some good place and good heights. So hopefully we'll do it soon.
all right. Would you like to, anybody else would like to? I wanted everybody to share. So very briefly, Riya, there are lots of cosmetic brands, personal care brands. So, and you've come out with a personal care brand. So did that well-established cosmetic and personal care brand, did the competition phase you?
Actually, I'll say it does, but I'm always like, okay, we can have similar ideas. I'm never hesitant in sharing my business ideas with someone else. But what matters is the execution part, like how you are executing it, because I'm executing it in a different way and some other person will execute in a different way. So it's about my execution, what I am putting into my brand, what's my taste. So it's that. And what I believe, like whenever I'm taking any decision, I'm always like, I won't think as a CEO or as a founder. I'll always think I'll step into the customer shoes and see, okay, if I am the customer, will I do this or will I purchase this at this point or this, that? So I do that type of decision making. So that's what I think that's how my brand is unique, because I'm never like that I have to think about my profits and all those things. Obviously you take in that also into consideration, but the first priority is always like step into the customer shoes and then think about the decisions.
Yes, Hardik, Skill Arena. Please talk about it.
So, hi guys, like most of you already know, the lockdown phase was the driving force, and the idea behind.
Just one moment, Hardik. Sorry to interrupt you. Just want the technical team to please open up the chat box for 10 minutes for questions, and you can close it in 10 minutes time. All right, Hardik, you can go on.
Sure. So, as all of you already know that, we have been through the lockdown phase. So pretty much the lockdown phase combined with the idea of taking, real practical education to the youngsters or to the youth was the driving force behind Skill Arena. Now, to take you through the concept, it's an edtech platform that's trying to revolutionize, or I should say, bridge the gap between what a student learns and what the industry actually requires. Just like all of you are studying different subjects right now in your class 11th, class 12th, or whatever grade you are in. All those things, when you come to a more professional level, when you step up in your career journey, you would realize that theory actually does not get implied directly to wherever you go. So the same thing is happening a lot in the Indian market, I should say. That, whatever we are taught in class 12th, it's hardly an application that we use in future directly. Indirectly, we always have references that, okay, we studied this in class 11th, 12th, but hardly there's an implication to it. Because of which we saw a gap that, there is a huge proportion of audience who are learning the skills but are not able to implement it. And by implementing, they're not able to convert it into an opportunity. Now, by an opportunity, I mean an internship or a job. So Skill Arena comes with a 3-phase learning program. Specifically, the first part of the curriculum we have divided as an online course component, which helps the student understand more about the skills. The second component of a learning program is a life project stage, wherein you collaborate with companies, you work on real life problems that they're facing, and you try to craft a solution out of it. The third one, and the most important, is for you to understand whatever you have learned makes an implication in what you're going to do forward. So that's how a learning program covers or takes a student through a journey of not knowing anything about the subject right to an opportunity in hand, maybe an internship, maybe a job from our platform. So that's the unique selling proposition of my platform, and which me and Shrey have crafted very beautifully and with a lot of blood and money.
Yes, just once again, I'm announcing, I'd already announced a bit earlier. Please type in your questions in the chat box, and we will select the questions. The chat box will be open only for 10 minutes. Yeah, right. Okay. Zaid has already shared his thing about C-Safe-Key. Saksham, could you tell us about Hyperclub?
Sure. So it's called Hyperclub, and what drives me and the company is mainly innovation. As in, what I really feel is that India as a country has a lot of potential, has a lot of intelligent people that are going out and maybe building things for companies outside. What I'm trying to do is take that technology and spread it out to all Indians here. So I don't know if you have heard about NFTs. So it's a piece of technology that operates on the blockchain. And it is something that is gaining a lot of hype in the Western countries. And slowly it's also coming to India. But what I am trying to do is trying to democratize that technology. As in today, to access that kind of NFTs or to access anything on the blockchain is very tough. But to buy anything on Amazon or to say send money across Paytm, that's very easy. So that's what I'm trying to do, connect these two dots, make it very easy to trade, purchase, buy, sell NFTs. And at the same time, I had a personal interest in content creation and I really admire content creators. So why not combine these two worlds of finance and content creation and bring it to the world? So we'll be working with YouTubers, we'll be working with content creators based out of India and slowly across the world to help democratize this technology as well as help you as a fan connect with them better. So that's what the idea is.
All right. Thank you, Saksham. I should also connect with you. I'm a content creator.
Awesome. We'll love to.
Pradyum, could you tell us about the idea behind Physics Mind Boggler, and also tell us how you wrote 2 books before you turned 20?
Sure. So Physics Mind Boggler, also known as PM, which also happens to be abbreviation of my name, Pradyum Mane, which is a coincidence. So it started back in 2016 when I was quite fascinated and inspired by physics, and I started exploring its various domains. And in an urge to let world know what I am doing, what research I am doing, what exploration I am doing, I started blogging. So Physics Mind Boggler was launched in 2016 as a blogging platform. And during that journey, I also started writing my first book, that is Journey Through the Dark Monster, 2018, and when I was in the first year of BTech. And my second book, The World of Particles, that unravels the recipe to build our universe, it launched a year after. In 2020, an interesting thing happened in one of our minor classes of entrepreneurship, in which me, Dr. Vinod Shastri sir, and my friend Anmol Goyal, we were just having a conversation regarding PM, and we thought about how to transform PM from a blog to full-fledged social venture. And during these classes, we brainstormed a lot of ideas and used a very simple principle, doing the doable and just pushing it. So we did the doable and push, and that's how the transformation happened of PM from blog to full-fledged social venture. So at PM, we are inspiring young minds towards physics and science through inspirational initiatives and connecting research with entrepreneurship by giving industry professionals an opportunity to work on their dream project. And at PM, we have a team of 100 go-getters with big dreams, with advisors from Tesla, CERN, DRDO, Bennett Hatchery, Arctic Solonics, advisors who are IIT IM alumni, scientists from Germany, and so on. So that's how PM began his journey and transformed itself. Speaking of USP, so PM is a platform wherein if you want to experience an amazing journey from student to researcher to entrepreneur, PM is the place to come for. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Pradyum. Zaid, if you could very briefly say how, why you started Jasper Home Fashions. I mean, right now, lots of people have lost their jobs, and I'm not sure if redecorating homes would be on their top priority. So why that transition, or why did you diversify into that, and how have you been doing so far?
Yeah, so thanks for the question, ma'am. So basically, there are very few people who know here that Jasper was my first startup before C-Safety. So when I entered the college in 2018, since then I was working on Jasper Home Fashions. In between, we have the lockdown, and I just happened to find C-Safety and it worked. But even after that, my primary focus was on building out Jasper Home Fashions. And coming to the point that there are, while doing startups and journeys, there are adversities. So one of them was COVID-19. In my case, it was like it really hampered the complete growth of Jasper, and we stopped it, and I started working on C-Safety. However, I feel that nowadays that when COVID struck, so people were spending most of time their home. So they needed to have their good vibes out of their home. Redecorate. People were free. They were trying different stuff. So that's when Jasper Home Fashions came in place. So when we launched just after the lockdown, so we got good amount of products in sales. People were liking the products, and it just aligned with the thing. So I think that's the beauty of entrepreneurship, that at any point of time you never know what can happen. It can be a bad thing or a good thing. So that's the main force.
Yeah, thank you, Zaid. Okay, I think you can close the chat box now, tech team. 10 minutes are up. Meanwhile, I'll go ahead with the questions which I have. All of you are products of Bennett Hatchery, right? And how do you view the current startup ecosystem and what all the government is doing to support startups right now. And also, how important is it to have an institutional environment like Bennett Hatchery? Because everyone knows this, right? That a seed, when it is sown in a fertile ground, that time it will grow, it will be able to sprout and grow. And that's exactly, you have that environment, you've been provided that environment. So if you could just share, how people have mentored you all, or any one or two experiences, any of you, one or two of you could share, that'd be really nice.
Okay, so Zaid, good.
Okay, I'll go first. Thanks, Hardik. So at Bennett, it has been a completely great experience to interact with all the faculties and everyone. So when we launched C-Safety, basically Bennett helped me and supported me to run my entire campaign. So I remember a post wherein Vinod sir, our mentor at Bennett, just on LinkedIn, I made a video out of C-Safety and just for a test, and he put it up on the LinkedIn handles. And that video, I believe, went viral. We had engagements and so much of interaction that for 3 to 4 days, we were on our phones and, there were many people interacting and we were having all that chats and everything. Apart from this, on Bennett, they have also, supported us on the basis of PR and everything. So C-Safety got mentioned in Times of India. I had a personal column over there. And apart from this, Agni is also, I was also guided to how to, launch my product on Agni, which is one of the India's biggest startup platform. So it was all the mentorship and the guidance was provided from Bennett Hatchery, which is very important for the startup in the initial phases. So over to you, Hardik.
Sure, thank you, Zaid. So first thing, mentioning about what the country is doing or what the government is doing for Indian entrepreneurs. So I'm not sure about the scenario in Oman, but specifically when I talk about our ecosystem here, our Prime Minister has launched several schemes. The biggest initiative for startups is called Startup India. All of you can go and check out Startup India and you will get the details certainly. Another thing that helps you to grow your startup idea, and I was also reading one of the questions, I had a startup idea, who should I discuss with? So I think your school, or I should say Stride, has also taken this beautiful initiative to arrange this session, which automatically means that they are ready to take your baby ideas of entrepreneurship. Why I say a baby idea is because you have to curate it and you have to make it grow into a full-fledged person when you're working with them. So I should say the guidance that comes from the mentors in your college or university is prime. Even in our context, I remember we had a very raw idea about Skill Arena, to be precise. We had several discussions, brainstorming sessions with Abhinav sir. Okay, so one of my favorite faculties at Bennett has been Abhinav sir, and he has been the devil's advocate. And you should always go to a devil's advocate when you are discussing your idea. Do not go to a person who says yes to everything or who says yeah, your idea is perfect, it's amazing, you should go ahead with it. There will be somebody who gives you an idea going out of the box. It can be your brother, your sister, people at Stride, people at Bennett Hatchery, anybody. They will give you a way of how you can groom your baby. And that's what you need at that point of time. Over to you, Ria.
Thank you, Hardik. I think, Vinod sir actually said me, like in one of our sessions, he said ki, there's no such term as bad idea. So he has always said, like, you just have to modify the idea according to your customers and according to your needs, according to your facilities that you have around you. You just have to modify that idea. There's no such term as bad idea. You just have to, think it through. Like, I had an idea. I was like, I'll, just go all out and create a full-on blown like cosmetic brand. But, he gave me some sessions and he was like, yeah, I knew like it won't work out, like a random girl opening a full-blown cosmetic startup. It just won't work like that. You have to take baby steps, as Hardik said. So yeah, so that's how we came up with the idea. Let's go for skincare and body care first, and luxury skincare and body care, and then we'll venture into cosmetic. So yeah, like Vinod sir has been the backbone of Real, I'll say that.
Aanchal, do you want to say something?
Yeah, I actually agree with Riya completely. I too discuss each and everything with Vinod sir itself. And for Explorio also, he has he has played a bigger role in it, like from motivating me personally, do it, do it, do it, and then to like initially when we had this entrepreneurial courses in our semesters, all of me and my friends, we used to think we should do it or not, like we should take it very lightly, because entrepreneurship we didn't know much about it that time. But now I go back and I check those courses once again. I try to make a plan for my own startup when I have it, and now I understand that how important that time it was. So I would really like to thank Complete Bennett Hatchery for this startup.
Yeah, thank you all for sharing that. I think there are many things which stop people from starting businesses. One of the things is lack of finance. One is fear of failure. That's a big one, and lack of finance. So I'm sure that youngsters would obviously, since you're not financially independent, this would be a very big stumbling block for you, because if it's someone who's worked a few years, they have their own savings, and they could invest that. So how did you go about that? How did you navigate that aspect of it, financing your startup? Was it bootstrap? What did you do?
I'd like to go here. So all of those people wondering that you require money to start up, you don't. Plain, clear, simple answer, you don't. I mean, you obviously need money to set up capital and things, but to just start up, to take the first step, you don't. Now, all you need is an idea and confidence to execute that idea. All right. And the second step, now you need to verify or validate. The second step to any idea is validating the idea, if it is really solving a problem and if there is market demand. All right. Before that, you don't put in any money. Okay. For what you need to do is just put in, say, I'll say 1,000 or 2,000 rupees, where you purchase a domain and you run some ads. All right. Now what that will do is send your idea across to your potential target audience, and they'll interact with your website. All right. Now you'll have enough data of seeing how many people are actually interested in your solution. Or you could even have a very comprehensive, say, form attached to it, and they'll give you suggestions. They'll give you more ideas. All right. So that is the most important step that you need to do, and that does not require money at all. Now, once you have done that, try building your idea, get together a team, take up more people in your team, develop the product, and then go to an investor. All right. So that is the way a startup works. Either you have your own capital, which, as ma'am said, that a lot of people who are doing jobs have. But if you don't, this is the way to go forward.
Just because you mentioned confidence, somebody's asked in the chat box how to get confidence. So I mean, nobody else can give you. You can't go to a shop and buy it.
So I think, ma'am, I think we all have addressed that point. Go to more events, go to more clubs, get on.
That it will give you confidence if you just put yourself out there. Just go try different things, and first time you may be really bad at it, okay? But at least second time you'll improve, third time you'll be even better. So nobody else can give you confidence. People, you have to get it yourself, right? Anybody else wants to share about their financing part? Anything else apart from what Saksham said?
I would like to add on to this. Sorry,
sure.
you can...
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
What happened with Explorio, since my family is also from business background, so it was not too difficult, but yeah, we have to convince them for everything. And when it comes to finance, I have two younger brothers as well. And what I used to hear is, no. every time first thing they will say is no, and then they'll directly transfer it to me. And slowly when I needed more expenses, I told them, okay, deduct my shopping expenses, okay, deduct from my these expenses. So I started reducing my personal expenses and investing in Exploreview. So that way I gained more of like comfort level from my parents, like, yeah, she's doing something, she wants to really work on this. So that way it helps a lot.
Yeah, all right. The other thing which I was saying, fear of failure. Now when one side we are seeing that, we have a lot of Indian unicorns. The news is all about that. And nobody talks about how many fail. And the rate of failure on startups is very high. 9 out of 10 startups fail. And so how does one bet on something so risky? I mean, when on one hand you could have a cushy corporate job with a fixed income, and that would be a safer alternative, and what your family would also want for you. How can we encourage, how can we teachers, because there are teachers attending also today, how can we encourage more students to come forward and start up? Because finally, I find that when there's a placement cell activity, everybody is there. And if there's like a startup idea contest, you'll find very few people there. So any leads on how we can encourage people?
I'll take the lead on this one. I think that's happening because everybody wants to get a job, but nobody wants to create a job for everybody else. So that's the major reason why people run behind even when it's organized by placement committees. I have been a part of the placement committee and know the attendance is 2x when it's a placement committee event and not otherwise. A very simple solution, or I should say what teachers should do. The primary role is to understand what skill a student has. Let's say, if I give you an example, the first semester, the first day we went to Bennett, we had a business communication course. When I wrote a few things, when I put out a few samples out to the class, my faculty said that, you have a taste for it. And I see that in you. So the role of a teacher, I should say, is rather to identify that one thing in a student, which he or she cannot for themselves, and then guide them to pursue the same thing. All of us are in the same journey. It has been said multiple times by Amir Khan in 3 Idiots. In Hindi, I would say, "Kamyabi ke piche mat bhago, kamyabi jhak maar ke piche aayegi." All those things in Bollywood are true. Yet we all are sitting here and we're running behind the same cycle because of the societal pressure. Now, anybody who talks about the risk of entrepreneurship, I think that all of us are bearing. And I think the most cost-extensive model in all of us is RIAS, because it's actually a product which you have to manufacture, put out. So the chances are high, but the reward that comes with risk for any entrepreneur is unmatchable. And I also heard, I also saw one more question that I think is very appropriate here, that there is so much competition, there's so much risk going out there, that should we really start up? People back out from starting up. Very simple answer is, the moment you accept that something is perfect, I think you're losing out in the competition. If you today think that Oyo is perfect, if you think Uber is perfect, you have already accepted your failure as an entrepreneur. 10 years down the line, you will see a better version of Uber, until and unless they do an amazing job and keep themselves going forward. So this is how evolution will keep happening. So anybody who thinks, so I entered into the most red ocean space, which is an edtech. I am combating with 1,000 edtech startups just in India. There is a lot of competition. We are still surviving. All of us are still surviving. You have to enter the competition and then grow out. In Oman, I know there are a lot of opportunities, a lot of blue oceans. So do not worry about the risks. You are just 18, 19, 20 years of age. You have a good fortune ahead of you. So that's how I would sum it up.
Right. And nothing in life is free from risk. I mean, very few things are. And even if you go and get a job, you have to compete with other aspirants. There will be thousands of people applying for one job now. And now your competition is AI also. That's taking away many jobs. So people need to be aware of those things. Yeah, Priya, you want to say something?
I want to say something like,
Yeah.
the fear of failure. I have tackled that fear, like I have always had that fear of failure. But, my parents gave me one advice, keep, don't connect the feeling of failure as a like feeling of pain. Like don't connect pain and failure. Rather than try to connect it with pleasure. Like even if you fail, at least you'll have that experience, that one time experience, lifetime experience. And like as Vinod sir said, you'll be a 10x better employee. So they are always like, don't connect pain and failure, rather than be like pleasure and failure. Like at least you'll gain some experience. So it has always been like that.
Right. I think, if anything, that this global health crisis, which we all have been going through and are still going through, has taught all of us, all human beings, is that resilience is the currency of the future. Grit, determination, these are qualities that have helped all of us, any of us who have made it through, you should pat yourself on the back for making it through this time so far, each one of you. And so my question to you is that many of you would have probably started up during this lockdown or just a little before that. So how did you handle adversity and doubt during this time? How did you handle that? Anyone? Ria, you were sharing some problems that you face. So one thing you said is your parents' advice, right? Any other coping mechanism that you use to stay, determined on your course? You could have easily given up and said, "No, I don't want to do this, or I can't do this." So what kept you going?
Actually, I'll say it's just the trust. Like everyone around me is so supportive and they are always so encouraging. I'm blessed. I'll say I'm literally blessed to have such amazing people around me. They're always like, I actually had a breakdown yesterday because something just went so off. So, I was literally crying and my mom was like, don't worry, everything will be fine. Don't worry, don't worry. They're always like so supportive and they're like, okay, we'll postpone the launch further. Don't worry, we are with you. Just have that trust. And like, I have survived like 2 major lockdowns, the price hike, the packaging price hike and everything. And they have always been like, okay, we are there for you. We are there for you. I think if it wasn't my parents and my mentors, I don't think so I would be sitting here and talking to you guys. I would have given up by now. So I'll say like, I'm blessed. I'm literally blessed to have such amazing set of parents.
Yeah. Anyone else would want to pitch in?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Sure.
Me being from travel background, I had a disastrous thing.
Seriously, yes, I'm
So,
sure.
I literally started it just before the lockdown. We had this idea, like let's start a travel page. We started it and lockdown happened. Such a good surprise we got. And then we thought, what should we do? Everything was going bad. And I'm a crybaby. At everything, I'll cry. So my friends told me, like, we saw different people working on MUNs, different competitions. We thought, let's keep working on traveling side by side and start working on some other things as well. We added on MUNs to explore VO. We added on competitions. We started inviting students to have some kind of internships, free internships, teaching them different backgrounds, digital marketing, everything. So that way I tried. And then I talked to my parents, like all of this happened with me. And they were like, oh, it's all right. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. And now I see people are rushing towards mountains. And I used to hear from people like travel will go down in coming time. You'll not get much people, all of that negativities. And now I see, when I saw people traveling to mountains, I was like, okay, thank God. Now it's again rising. So I have started working on it again.
Yeah, that's nice. There's a question somebody has asked about reading. I myself had a question. Basically, this is my observation that all successful people, be they entrepreneurs or professionals, anyone who's successful in life is successful because that person is a committed lifelong learner. Okay. So you can learn in different ways. You can learn by reading, you can learn by listening to some great TED Talks, you can learn from listening to podcasts. There's so much that is out there. So somebody's asked a question about does reading really help you and does it give you ideas? So did anyone get ideas here from reading or listening to others or observation? Where did your ideas come from?
Yes, so I like to answer that one. My journey started with books. So I have been an avid reader. I used to read a lot of, I'll say, fantasy novels or stuff like Harry Potter initially when I was very young. But then slowly I transitioned into, say, non-fiction. But honestly, answering that particular question of reading is what makes you a better person, I'd say not exactly. So you could be a person who hates books, yet you have so much of knowledge. Because nowadays there are so many means of taking knowledge. Personally, I have started listening to a lot of podcasts nowadays, and I think they are one of the best sources of information to know exactly what is going on in someone's mind. All right, not everybody can write a book, not everybody can read a book, but everybody can talk. Everybody can listen. All right, you can just listen to people talking and gain knowledge. And I think that's how people learn and develop themselves more. That's on books.
Yeah. Okay. I had one thing to say is that all of you have websites and social media profiles, right? And how important do you think it is for students to start networking on LinkedIn platforms early? Like when they're in first year, second year, they should be ideally starting there, where I see a scramble in third year or in the year you're going to graduate. But until then, nobody is bothered about building their profile. So has this helped you? Did you set up your profile early, and how has it helped you? And how do you leverage your presence on social media and digital media?
Yes.
So yeah, I'd just like to add one thing, then you can go ahead, Pradyum. I think one thing that you all should take away from this particular session is go back today to your homes, make a LinkedIn account and a Twitter account. All right. Instagram is for your friends. Facebook is for your family. Twitter and LinkedIn are two platforms where you can really network and grow. Pradyum, go ahead. Thank you.
Yes, I completely agree with Saksham. That's the first step that every young mind should take, and it's doable once again. So we should do the doable. And as far as my personal experience is concerned with social media handles, particularly LinkedIn, it has helped me to build a personal brand, to share my achievements with my network. And even if I face any obstacles or have any queries, then I can simply connect with someone someone who has that domain knowledge and have a conversation with him. And that also helps me build communication skills and build confidence. As I earlier mentioned about the advisors of PM from like Tesla, DRDO, CERN, and all those connections were built via LinkedIn. And it's because of that connection and network, PM has created a very strong base to sustain and scale up. So social media is very, very important to build a personal brand and to showcase your skill set and achievements to the world.
Okay, very quickly, since we have about 5 minutes, last 5 minutes, closing thoughts, closing remarks, closing thoughts, 30 seconds, each one of you.
I'll start with it.
Okay, all right.
I would say, like, if I take my example, I am from biotech background, complete lab work. I was a student who was into labs. So it doesn't matter that you are in which field of study. All you need is creativity in life. So I used to get thousands of thoughts daily, but how to implement it is the biggest thing we need to deal with. So I would only say, work on your thoughts. Do think like, yeah, you can work on it. Take a thought and start working on it. it itself gain heights, and it will directly like start resolving it in your own ways, and you will see that you have developed something in life. So have a startup. It's very important in life. Now I've learned. Thank you.
Hardik?
Okay. So instead of a closing thought, I've always been a person who has tried to take it to an execution level and then be at the risk of failures. So for the very same, I would like to take it to the next step. Now there is a form in your chat box that you all can use. Sign up, and then definitely I will connect with you all.
Yes. Also, 1 second, Hardik. Sorry to interrupt you. We have shared the profiles and where you can connect with all our panelists also. Dr. Vinod Shastri has been posting that. So where you can also fill up what the form Skill Arena shared, but please do check out their profiles and visit them. Yeah, go ahead, Hardik. Sorry for that.
Absolutely. So for all of you who are planning to do anything in your life, start up once, and if your startup does not get successful, at least it will tell you what you really want in your life. Be it BTech, be it BBA, do not just step into something for the sake of it. We all know we have societal pressures, but the startup will at least give you the way, or it will pave the way for you of what you want to do in your life. So that would be my closing thoughts.
Yeah. Thanks, Hardik. Yes, Pradyum?
Yes. So for me, entrepreneurship doesn't mean to start a startup only. It's about the mindset, like identifying problem and proposing a solution. And mentor could play a very, very important role to take feedback on the proposed solution. So most of the times it happens that student expects answers from mentors, but it should be the second opinion, the feedback on their own proposed solution. So that's something that I would like to point out, that entrepreneurial mindset and taking second opinion or feedback on the proposed solution from your mentor. So that's all. Thank you.
Zed?
Yeah. So my closing thought is for everyone here is that, whatever you're thinking or planning, you just go for it, and you will yourself see that your plan has been executed. So that's the beauty of entrepreneurship, that over all the period of year, I have learned that, whenever you start with something, there opportunities are created by itself. So, you just be patient, do hard work, and you'll see that you are on the stage of success. So that's it.
Priya?
Yeah. So I'll just say, just go for it, and don't try to be parents of your parents. Someone said this line to me, because I have been the one who's I have never failed in my life till now. I'll be honest and say I have not failed in my life till now. So somewhere there is this fear of failure till now. It is there, but someone told me ki don't try to be parent of your parent. Even if you fail, they will still be your parents and they'll still support you. So at that point I was what will happen even if I fail? What will happen? Okay, we'll have some losses, okay, but I won't try to be parents of my parents and be okay, I won't even try. So yeah, don't try to be parents of your parents and just go for it. Keep hustling, keep growing, and that's the only thing I'll say.
Thank you. Saksham?
So if I have to leave you all with one thought today, that is going to be 2 words. That is, what if? All right. So never let these 2 words affect you at all. Try to do as much as possible. Try to do as many things as possible. You want to sing, go sing. You want to dance, go dance. You want to start a startup, go start up. What is your age? 17 or 18? You do it for 5 years, 6 years, 10 years for that matter of fact. You'll still be 28. You'll still be young. You can still do it once more. So never let what if affect you, and just go for it. That's my idea.
Yeah, thank you all. It was really very nice talking to all of you today. I always say this, my students are my teachers. And I think any student anywhere, you can learn a lot. If you're a teacher, you're always learning from students. And thank you, I learned a lot. Today, I'd just like to thank the Indian School Sur, the board of directors of Indian Schools Oman, and Dr. Vinod Shastri. He pushed me to do this, moderate the panel discussion. So thank you. Over to the student compares.
Thank you so much, all of you, for sharing your valuable experiences and guiding us. I'm sure it will help all the upcoming entrepreneurs. Now, I would like to invite our school head girl, Ms. Hazina Iman, to deliver the vote of thanks.
Greetings to everyone. Gratitude is not in the words, but in the heart which expresses it. I deem it a great honor and privilege to extend a very hearty vote of thanks to all the eminent personalities for gracing your highly distinguished presence. I would express my gratitude to our chief guest, Mr. Ahmed Tabook, Commercial Director, Free Zone Oman, who has kindly consented to be with us today. At the very outset, I wish to express my deep sense of gratitude to the respected Chairman, Board of Directors, Dr. Shivakumar Manikya. Thank you, sir, for your gracious presence. I would like to take this opportunity to express my deep sense of acknowledgement and sincere thanks to the guest of honor, Mrs. Ashwini Savrikar, Finance Director of the Board of Directors, and the other eminent directors of the board. I also wish to express my sincere gratitude to the President of our School Management Committee, Mr. Muhammad Amin, and other members of the School Management Committee. I would also like to extend my hearty thanks to the acclaimed principals and vice principals of Indian schools in Oman. My humble gratitude to the esteemed principal of Indian School Sur, Dr. S. Srinivasan, for his enormous support, guidance, and stewardship to successfully organize this event. I'm extremely thankful to all the panelists who have shared their valuable experiences and have guided us to be aspiring entrepreneurs. Session would not have been so interactive and lively without the moderation of Dr. Mariam Nurona, who acted as a bridge to sync the experience of the panelists with us. Thank you so much, ma'am. I must mention my deep sense of appreciation to Dr. Vinod Shastri, Head Academics and Research, Center for Innovation and Entrepreneurship, Bennett University, for rendering continuous support and guidance to the successful conduct of this session. Last but not the least, I would also like to express deep appreciation to all the respected teachers and my dear friends for sharing with us your findings, opinions, and questions today. Without your support, this session wouldn't have been a resounding success. Today's event was indeed full of knowledge and interesting facts. It gave us deep insights into the topic and helped in enlightening us with the basics of entrepreneurship. Thank you, everyone, and have a wonderful day ahead.
Thank you, Hazina. It is rightly said to always keep your face towards the sunlight so that you can never see the shadow. Yes, attitude is what makes all the difference. I hope that this session will definitely benefit the students who aspire to become future entrepreneurs and will guide them in their journey forward and be critical in achieving the vision of our Prime Minister of making India a self-reliant nation. Time, patience, and perseverance will accomplish all things. As India celebrates 75 years of its independence, we owe this freedom to our valiant freedom fighters who didn't hesitate for once to give up their lives just so their future generations can breathe the free air of India. Let us explore the history and significance of this day and dedicate this glorious anniversary for the future generations. Our motto should be nation first, always first. To be a winner, all you have to give is all you have. Thank you one and all for being with us. Stay safe, stay healthy.